Just a disclaimer. Our
dogs.
One's too obsessed about her.
She does not like it when I leave.
The Force is with her.
Oh my gosh, that poor
She's
dog.
15 years old. The Force is strong with her.
15 going on 16.
Mm-hmm.
She just has terrible separation anxiety, so she's letting everybody know she's not happy.
Anyways, this is Arturelia Film Room Reviews. I are Arturelia. Today with me I have Sin's Corner. Again, today we're going to be reviewing Star Wars Episode 2, the Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
So, this was a sequel that came a few years after Phantom Menace. Now, does it exceed Phantom Menace, or does it still lack in that quality of Star Wars that most people some semi-continue to bash the prequels, even though the new trilogy, everybody knows it's not that good, and we just pretend it never happened.
Well, some people disagree with that. Some people think it's great, but in my opinion, those are people that don't care about halfway quality story making.
Yeah. All they want is that money.
Yeah.
When it comes to making those movies.
Disney.
But
dang Disney.
Yeah. But what do we think about Episode 2? Do we think it's better than the first, and we suggest that anybody watches it, or does it lack more than Episode 1? Well, that's why. Huh?
Sorry, go ahead.
What?
I was gonna say it's got one huge thing going for it.
Yeah, well, that's why you're here. Today we're gonna be reviewing Attack of the Clones. Let's go. So, it takes place 10 years after Phantom Menace. Anakin's a teen.
What, he's like 19 now, I think?
19, 17, or a little bit of both?
19, 17.
19, 17, or a little bit of both?
I think wasn't he 9?
Yeah, he was 9
in the Phantom Menace.
And
so
she was 14, I believe.
So he would be 19, and she's 24.
Okay, yeah.
There's like a 5-year age gap between them. Which isn't quite as awkward in the second movie, because they're both
adults.
Completely mature adults for the most part.
But there's an attempt on Padme's life, which fails. So, wasn't it Obi-Wan? Weren't Obi-Wan and Anakin assigned to protect her?
Yes, they came there to protect her the first portion of the film, and then other stuff goes down, and then they decide that she needs to be taken away to Naboo to hide out, and they send Anakin with her to protect her.
However, there is another attempt to kill her, which, well, don't want to go into details. Let's just say that Anakin is, tasked to protect her. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan, they find out that the killer that's trying to kill Padme is located. Yeah, they trace a bounty hunter,
a dart or
a
poison dart or something,
to a bounty hunter that's actually in a planet called Kamino, which clones stuff. Mm-hmm. It's its own little colony.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of like the city in the clouds, except it's in the ocean.
And it's depressing.
Floating in the oceans. Rainy all the time.
Aurelia's favorite place.
She'd be happy there.
So Obi-Wan goes to investigate while Anakin watches over Padme and Naboo. However, he has nightmares about his mom. Mm-hmm. And also his relationship with Padme is,
starting to evolve.
Yeah, even though Jedis, they're not supposed to fall in love. Now, Obi-Wan...
They're not supposed... Yeah, they're not... The actual terminology that is used is not to form attachments.
Otherwise,
which love is also... But, even deep friendship would be something that would be discouraged, because it distracts you from what your focus is supposed to be.
But Anakin does the opposite of that.
Anakin's headstrong.
Anakin in this...
He's very emotional.
Yeah. We'll get to the characters in a bit, but let's just say some stuff happens that soon leads to the Clone Wars by the end of it. So that's basically all you need to know. Once you watch the film, everything comes around, and characters, Anakin, he has a bit of an attitude when it comes to
just a little bit. He starts to,
be a little rebellious, I guess.
Someone made a point. Was that the video you were watching the other day? And they were making a point about how, in the Phantom Menace, Anakin really didn't have many character flaws.
Yeah.
And but by the time we get to Attack of the Clones, you can start to see those flaws that everybody who's familiar with the Darth Vader, story knows, that it's those flaws that lead him to the dark side, his fall as depicted in Episode 3, to the dark side. But so someone had pointed out in those 10 years between, there was a certain individual. Anybody who knows the story knows this, but I'll try to keep it vague in case they don't, to save spoilers. There's a certain individual influencing him that is feeding thoughts into his head that is probably, that it might not be so much Anakin's inherent nature, which, I mean, it kind of would be, because if he was stronger, he wouldn't have fallen for that. But he was young and impressionable.
Let's just say this person...
It was those things that kind of guided him along towards the pathway that wasn't... good for him.
I mean, Anakin has his flaws, but he tries to do the right thing.
Right, you can see him struggling with those flaws.
It's kind of like me with my OCD every day. That's how I feel with Anakin's situation. He's conflicted with a lot of different things. Padme's more of a politician now and doesn't really...
She was a politician before.
Well, she was the queen, but now she's like a politician.
Senator. She's a senator. Yeah.
Even she kind of like... She's there to kind of... She has feelings for him too, in a sense, but she understands for the Jedi way.
Yeah.
But things change because of stuff that happens at the end.
Right.
Somewhat in the end. Obi-Wan Kenobi is, I guess you could say what?
He's his mentor.
More intelligent.
Well, he's not a Padawan anymore.
No, he's the master.
Right, and Anakin is his Padawan.
I mean, what's there to say? I like Obi-Wan in this movie.
Oh, yeah. I liked Obi-Wan in all the movies, and I've always liked Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. I thought he was a perfect casting choice for him. Absolutely perfect.
There's that show that they're going to make of him, which will bring him back.
That would be so awesome. I hope they do a good job with that. I hope they Mandalorian it and don't Last Jedi it.
Yeah. He does his thing while Anakin's protecting Padme, and he has his moments of fighting. And,
he's investigating. He's kind of like doing some detective work, sort of.
He finds out something of a Jedi that literally commissioned a clone army.
Someone's using his identity. And, of course, we know who that is. We know because we've seen the movies. Anybody who knows the overall story would know, too. I mean,
Obi-Wan has some good fight scenes, like the one with a particular bounty hunter. And then, obviously, those quirky comments he makes. Obviously, the bounty hunter, Jango Fett, is actually the one that ends up, giving his DNA to the Kaminoans. Yeah, to create the clone army that we know.
So we're
very
introduced
different.
To
we're also introduced to his son. A clone is all known as Boba Fett. Jango, I can say, is a little different compared to his son. His son, I will say, in the original trilogy, he didn't have much fighting time except for Return of the Jedi, a little bit, which we know how that went.
Yeah, well.
But Jango, I guess we get more time with him a little bit than his son, which I wish they could just go ahead and make a movie about, or a show about Boba Fett.
Yeah, I had thought initially that the whole series about the Mandalorian was supposed to be about Boba Fett, and it was obviously it wasn't, but that was just a misunderstanding I had.
But yeah, he's a bounty hunter that you pay him, he'll do it.
A mercenary.
Yeah.
Got a job, he'll do it for you.
I don't know whether or not you would consider him a villain. He's working with the bad guys in some aspects.
Yeah, a lot of aspects.
Yeah. There's not really much I can say about Jango except that he has the son. He wanted a son, and then we know where he goes because of a particular thing that happens. Since this is the prequels, I mean, come on. Then this is also the first time we are introduced to Count Dooku, who is very intelligent and collective.
Former Jedi.
Former Jedi. He's pretty manipulative some aspects.
I kind of get the sense that Dooku was being manipulated.
Well, that's what I think. He is. I think
he thought he was doing the right thing. I really think that's what he thought. I mean, I had forgotten all of that until we rewatched it with the nephews. But I had forgotten because he doesn't seem like he's got his intent is evil.
Even though
thinks he's doing right.
red lightsaber.
Is that
I mean,
well?
that. Well, here's the thing. I like when they take a bad character and think they are doing something right. So I guess
Yeah.
you could look at Count Dooku is doing, because in all honesty,
Well,
there's...
he warns them about something,
Mm-hmm.
about the Sith.
So maybe he has to do the bad just to do something good for a cause.
To see,
But what he's doing maybe not be the best thing.
well, he thinks he's doing something for the greater good and to stop this force. He doesn't realize he's being manipulated by that force. That's what he
I
doesn't
find Count
realize.
Dooku pretty interesting.
Yeah.
He's an interesting villain.
And of course, Christopher Lee plays him, and he's one of the ultimate.
And it's funny
villain
because both
characters.
Tarkin and him were
That's
in films
right,
together
that's
back
right.
in the 70s.
Yep, a lot
Except
of films
Tarkin
together.
ended up in the 77 original, which is technically a sequel to the prequels.
Right,
I mean, bada bing, bada boom.
And
according
Ewan
to-
McGregor's uncle being in the original.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
it's
right.
kind of funny.
But
I'm sure there's other things like that too.
yeah, technically you kind of have a viewpoint of who are really the bad guys in this political war. Is it the Republic or the Separatists?
Mhm.
Because apparently the Separatists feel like it's kind of like the Civil War with the North and South with unfair things. This is kind of that.
Yeah.
Because the Separatists, to be honest, aren't that bad. It's just what is manipulating everything on the top is the bad guys.
Right.
Not the
Right,
other...
hitting people against each other. There's definitely a lot more politics in the
prequels,
trilogy.
than in the original. Because the original, I mean, you kind of already have this world already. Now, obviously, they came before the prequels. But what I like that George Lucas did is go into the political side. He did something different besides not focusing on the political that much in the original. It's left to interpretation what happened in that span of time. But we know that all this was because of political stuff that happened. Kind of like a fascist Germany sort of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Except the bad guys don't have any control until later. This is like an Adolf Hitler thing, you know?
Yeah.
Rise to power and then bada bing bada boom.
Yeah.
R2-D2 has a little bit more action in this. R2-D2.
Yes.
And C-3PO, poor guy.
I
Or
know.
poor droid. He's just...
Oh, that's right.
I am so confused.
I bet he was.
Oh, I had the weirdest
Complete
dream.
identity confusion for him in that scene.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first time you hear C-3PO be pretty violent. Die, Jedi. Huh? What did I say?
That's
yeah,
funny.
good
It's funny.
stuff. I do feel like, though, the issue with Episode 2 is there's slight plot holes, at least with C-3PO being at Luke Skywalker's home, which is...
And not recognizing.
Now, technically, his mind...
No,
has
wait a
been-
second,
No,
wait a
his
second.
mind was erased.
Wait a second, then what are you talking about? Oh,
At
that,
Tatooine, Luke's
you mean the
house.
uncle not
Yeah.
recognizing him?
Now, technically, I guess you could say it's almost... This guy pointed it out. Maybe it's because, you know, every droid looks like him. Maybe he
There
has the
are,
same
well,
voices.
not every droid, but there are other droids that do look
And on
exactly
top of that,
like
he,
him.
he looked kind of dark brownish with his
Yeah, and
meta.
his
and
color's
then, and
changed.
the color has changed. And on top of that, his brain was also erased. Or not his brain, his data was
His
erased.
data memory chip.
In
or
all
whatever.
honesty, they actually say C-3PO's brain, data was erased, not R2-D2. R2-D2 remembers everything.
Oh, I thought they said that all the
I
droids
thought-
got wiped.
Yeah, but apparently it was, I think it was C-3PO only. Some
Hmm.
people say R2-D2 was just playing along with, like, you know when Yoda didn't recognize him? Now I'm hearing a rumor that he knew he was playing with Yoda just to Luke, in a sense. They were playing a game.
So Yoda was good. They were both.
They were
pretending?
in on it, yeah. Because R2-D2 was with him.
Right.
So that just to kind of get Luke to, you know.
I mean,
First thing
you can certainly explain it away that way. I don't know if that was
There's
the
a
intention.
lot of answers though. So there's a little bit of plot holes, and on top of that, there's what's his name, Uncle Owen.
Yeah.
This was this his first role? The guy from.
I don't know if this
Warrior?
was his first role because he was an Australian actor for a while. He may
Well-
have been in some other stuff before this.
Do you think
before
he was a
that.
good pick? He looked kind of like him
He
a
looked
little bit.
quite a bit like him, I thought.
Maybe his girlfriend a little
The
bit.
girlfriend, a little bit, same kind of like the eyes were similar.
Though he's not. I mean, he's not really in this as much.
No, just a little
Now
bit.
the mother's in here a little bit, but this kind of just leads Anakin to you know what-ness.
Yeah, the thing that happens with his mother.
Is there any other? Well, I mean, Yoda has more of a badass moment in this.
Yes, he
film,
actually ends up fighting in here.
which you know our nephews were wanting.
Oh,
to
they
see.
were really digging that. They love that part.
Oh yeah, I mean even Padme gets a chance to fight in this film, especially near the end. on Geonosis.
You know what's kind of crazy about Yoda was that, so this movie takes place roughly 20 years before the events of A New Hope and Empire and Jedi. And so Yoda is hundreds of years old. At the end of episode, 2 and 3, Yoda, he's hundreds of years old. He goes off into exile. And then when you see him just 20 years later, he's like this old, crippled up kind of...
I think they say he's 900.
Yeah, but still, from 880 to 900, that's just 20 years. I mean, he had all hundreds... It seemed to me like his physical decline was just like really sharp. And I don't know if that's because he was in exile.
Well, that's what they're thinking with Obi-Wan, too, because Obi-Wan kind of aged pretty fast because I guess the trauma of everything that happened.
Maybe living in exile, too, kind of did that to them. But you would think they would be stronger than that. I mean, they're Jedi.
No.
But, I mean, Anakin was a Jedi, too.
Minor things here and there.
Yeah, it was just something that popped in my head.
Well, the clones, technically Jango Fett, I mean, they're badass.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the clones.
They show up as clones for the first
time.
That
was I would say when I was younger, I watched that scene, I just liked the fact that they just came to the rescue.
The cavalry has arrived.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Mace Windu has also some action.
That's right.
Jedi.
Mace Windu, yeah.
So all that was good, awesome fights. I will say this movie is slow in some regards, but we'll get to that in just a second. Maybe the Chancellor.
Oh, well.
A nice guy.
Yeah,
he did nothing
was
wrong. Jar Jar is calmed down.
Yeah, okay, what I was going to say is one big thing it has going for it is the minimal
Jar Jar.
appearance of Jar Jar Binks.
He's kind of calmed down. He's a politician now.
Yeah, and so he's not in there as much, which was great. The plot to me was, I mean, not that I minded the plot of the first one at all. It's just it felt a little bit more
kiddish.
Yeah, because Anakin was a kid. So the plot of this one feels a little bit more serious. People are trying to kill were trying to kill Padme in the first one too.
But definitely with Anakin.
With Anakin, you're starting to see the signs of his
dark
issues.
Side.
Yeah, his dark side. You start to see that. He's he goes into some territory that's very dark and not very good.
I just think it's more politically driven. I mean, episode 1 was too, but this one's like deep into that.
Yeah. And episode 3 is as well.
And it was a little more darker. I will say plot-wise, it's a bit slower when it comes to the final battle, because on all honesty, the final battle is awesome. Battle in Geonosis, but it's a very slow drag to that. I mean, we get action scenes, but it's more plot-driven with characters' development, Anakin and Padme.
Yeah, that's what,
No battle until close to the end of the movie.
There are some, like this chase scene and stuff like that.
But it takes a while to get to a bigger battle.
One of the weak points of the movie, too, though, is... So, the romance story between Padme and Anakin, that's crucial to his whole
arc. Is it just the acting or just the writing?
It's the writing is the dialogue between them. The romantic dialogue between them was so stiff, it just didn't feel or sound natural. And Hayden didn't do the best job in that. Like Hayden has his.
I mean, I thought the acting was okay. It's not the worst.
It was just very stiff and.
Watch The Room. Watch The Room.
That could be a double meaning. Sorry about that.
What?
But nothing.
Why not just watch The Room? That's probably the worst movie ever made.
Well,
I did not hear that.
No, I did not. No, Hayden is not a terrible actor. But because he does have his moment, like at the end of episode 3, that scene, Mustafar and all that, and what happened at the end. He did a really good job in that scene.
In his eyes, too.
In his eyes, and just so he's got it in him, but some of the lines of dialogue he had to say, his romantic lines to Padme, it was just kind of almost cringy.
I'll say, people,
and it seemed
people
like
have
he
said,
felt it was cringy too.
People have said that George Lucas kind of, what's the word?
Not a good dialogue
writer. Yeah, but on top of that, like when they try to want to change it a little bit to make it, George Lucas kind of argues with him about that. He wants to do it his way.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, like he's human. I mean, people are gonna have their mindset on what they want to do, but sometimes you have to listen to certain people to an extent.
Yeah.
I mean, I get this is his movie, but
to me
he
that
has
was
to
a weak
listen.
point, and it also felt to me like There's so much story to tell in this movie.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot.
But at the same time, it almost felt like the whole the whole love story. It felt like it needed a little bit more time. I don't know. Maybe that was just me. Maybe it was just I feel like if it had more time, the acting and the dialogue with regard to all that stuff would have been better. But I might be wrong.
I mean, obviously
Maybe
we have
not.
the Clone Wars to thank for developing more of the characters and relationships and what went on for the past 3 years after that. Between episode 2 and 3. Yeah, it's supposed to take place 3 years.
Well, it takes place pretty close to the events of 3 because in the Clone Wars, his hair is the way it is in 3.
And he's already kind of having issues by that point. But he also has, a Padawan. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the movie. Yeah, I mean, I thought the acting was fine. Obviously, McGregor.
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, he was really good in this as Obi-Wan. Oh, good job. The visual effects, I mean, for the time they were cool. I mean, now they're a bit outdated.
It's very obvious
and you
now.
can tell, like, when people are moving, it just looks kind of
even the animals, the creatures.
The clone troopers looked fine, but you can tell their age.
Yeah.
A bit.
Yeah, that they're digital.
Yeah. Yeah. But, I was thinking, were they all people at the time? But no. Because they're clones, I guess they have to... It's crazy how they have to make them the same height. Same physical form.
That's
right.
They have to be because they're clones.
As for our enjoyment, I enjoyed it. I actually like it better than the first episode.
Yeah, for sure.
And obviously, I like the clone troopers. They're like the best, like one of the best parts in the story. All the colors and stuff. Just too bad. Well, don't want to say if you haven't seen episode 3, but I like the action scenes. Yeah, maybe some of the dialogues are a little cringy, like what my mom said. Maybe the acting too, but episode 2 is important for where everything leads to the original trilogy. Is there anything else you want to say? I can't really think of anything.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else either.
I mean,
just
the villains. I mean, Dooku's interesting.
Yeah.
And seeing Anakin have his issues is another thing. He's not a Merrick Sue because now he's having issues of not listening, and then he has a moment in the ending that gets him into a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Because he didn't listen to who.
He's headstrong.
Yeah. Or
he's emotional. He's driven by his emotions.
I mean, I liked it. What else is there to say? I don't think it's as good as maybe.
I always liked it.
I mean, I like it. Would you? I don't know. I like it. I don't think it's as bad as what people are saying.
No, I don't think.
Obviously,
the original...
I think 3 all the way 4, 5, and 6 are better films, but this is an important film for people that want to follow Anakin's journey to the dark side.
Yeah. Because this is the one that starts the seeds have been planted and you can see it. So it's important.
And he likes a girl. I mean, anybody likes a girl that they're in love with. Just too bad in this universe, if you're a Jedi, you can't really do that.
Not
because then
shit happens to the dark side, and it did happen.
Like I said, it is a bit slow at points, and it doesn't get to, but it's an important story for a character. You need that because the battle is rewarding afterwards. Yeah, it's kind of like with Iron-Blooded Orphans. Yeah, a lot of people complain it's too slow, but the battles are rewarding because you get character development and then a battle.
Well, kind of like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
It was slow, but the
ending
awesome,
amazing.
But Fear the Walking Dead was another one. A lot of people wanted to see more zombies, but it was before that, and you get to build this slow development, and it's rewarding because it actually made me very nervous because this is society that we still live in. You know what's going to happen because of The Walking Dead. Right. Blah blah blah. It's the same deal with episode 2. And obviously the battle, like I said, the final battle is really awesome. Everything there.
I say between 7 and 7.5 because I can't.
What is your official rating, though? What is your official?
7.25. No, maybe 7. Let's go with 7.
Yeah.
Let's go with 7.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good. It's decent.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a Star Wars fan, you probably enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, I know people bash on it, but hey, come on. Come on.
I
It's
never
better
really-
than it's better than the new trilogy.
Well, I always liked the sequels. I mean, I was disappointed by Phantom Menace when I first
Sequels?
saw
You
it.
mean
I mean the
prequels.
prequels. Well, they're sequels, even though they're sequels, and that
no,
they
they're
came out.
well, yeah, they came
They
out
came out
years
after, but they're prequels. They really are prequels. But I was disappointed in the first one. And then when I rewatched it, I got a little bit more respect for it. But it's still the weakest to me out of all
episode
6.
2 is better.
Episode 2, to me, was a big improvement because it just felt like there was more, there's this stuff going on, who's trying to kill her, and
Political
what's
stuff
this
that's going on.
detective stuff that Obi-Wan is getting into, and what's going on? What's this stuff going on behind the scenes with this army that was ordered up, and all that stuff.
Basically, this is what's going to happen in the future. The Empire.
Yeah, definitely. You could see the groundwork has been laid for that.
Yeah, by one particular person.
Yeah.
That we don't know yet, or do we know? That's the question.
We know now. We knew anyway.
Yeah, we'll go with a 7. It's really better than the first. That's for sure. Recommendations.
Episode 3.
Yeah, 3. And then the original trilogy. Now
the Clone Wars.
Yeah, the show.
There's
also
the animated.
There's 2 versions. There's the
I never saw that one.
Yeah, the cartoon one. That's like set the first
shortly
volume
after the second movie, right?
Set. The first volume is set right after episode 2.
Okay.
The second volume is set just before episode 3, and it ties into the Battle of Coruscant.
Does he have long hair by then?
Yeah.
See, I have not seen that. I've only seen little bits and pieces.
I haven't watched it all. Like, I've seen part of it. Because you know me, I was just someone that jumped around and just listened to best parts of it and blah, 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 blah. Then there's the Clone War animated that actually goes into a lot more detail of the 3-year period of the Clone Wars. And,
that was a good show.
There's season 7 that wrapped it all up. And we got a better female character, Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. You could check my mom at Sin's Corner. She does reactions. She has rats on her shoulders sometimes. Which people like to say are plague, but, these are domesticated rats.
They're so cute and sweet.
Yeah, I mean, don't you want to just... I mean, I squeeze... Not squeeze, but I mess with one of my other rats and just hear her squeak. It's so cute. It may sound like a torture, but it's...
No, it doesn't. She's just
cute.
like, stop holding me that way. Let me go. I want to sit on your shoulder.
Yeah, that's about it. Come on, boys! You guys are soldiers! I love you guys! Don't let those separatist forces get anywhere near this perimeter! We're not gonna let them take this land! No way, Jose!
Sir, the separatists are retreating. They're falling back. Most of their ships are airborne. We were able to take most of them down, but some got away. Other than that, we have pushed them back, sir.
Good. You hear that, guys? They're retreated. They're retreated. I gotta tell you guys, you are the toughest soldiers here. I love you guys. I like that militaristic feel. Love these clone troopers. They're so badass. Alright, boys. You know the drill. Let's put... Sorry about that. I meant to say, let's push them out of here. Run them out of here.